What's up, y'all? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. I wanted to hop on the mic real quick and talk about this theory that pertaining to Supreme Leader Snoke and Palpatine that has really been picking up some steam. And it has to do with the theory that Snoke was possessed by Palpatine, or he was a puppet of Palpatine. There's a number of variations of this theory that have been floating around YouTube, Reddit, and whatnot, but they're really starting to pick up steam as we head into the summer, preparing for the road to the rise of Skywalker, Star Wars Episode 9. But hey, before I jump into that and get into the meat of this topic, I just want to tell you guys, hey man, you need to hop on this flash sale I got running. Soldier Serum. It is the Captain America inspired program that I've been trying to figure out how to put together since the winter. Hey man, this isn't just some kind of workout challenge, a 30-day challenge. You're getting a total transformation thing. This is a package, right? So you're probably going to get like a cookbook, some kind of nutrition guide. I'm also thinking you might get some mindset stuff. I haven't put the whole package together, but it's going to be more than just a workout. It'll probably be several workouts, something to do with nutrition. Hey man, I think this is going to be at least a $300-400 value. And hey man, you can get it for 55% off, and it's not going to be 55% off for $300 or $400. Hey man, it's just 30 bucks, man. If you're trying to get that summer body right, hey man, you need to jump on this. It's good for 24 hours. Hey man, by the time some of y'all see this video, the sale might be over. The program is coming out Friday, so I'm giving you a chance to put some skin in the game now. So on Friday, when you get it, you know, you will say, hey man, I got a real good deal on this. Let me get going on it. But anyway, let's get to this theory. So this started out as a Reddit post. It was by Lieutenant Aldo Young, and I'm just going to read his post. He said, it's true that Chancellor Palpatine will return in the next Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker. So I thought I'd come up with a theory that would possibly be true to Snoke's mysterious identity. Years before the Second War between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire, the spirit of Sidious haunted Snoke his whole life. He chose Snoke so that he would finish the job that Palpatine could never do. He trained Snoke to do what he did when he was in control of the Galactic Empire. When Snoke took control, he was overthrown by Kylo Ren the same way Sidious was overthrown by Darth Vader. It's like a cycle that started over and ended the same way. Since Snoke failed, that gave Sidious the chance to come back. Isn't it kind of strange that after Snoke died, Sidious would return? Or is it a total coincidence? I don't know. Something has to have a connection here. I might be reading too much into this, but it's just a theory. So first off, I'm going to commend this guy or gal, this person, on putting this theory together. But this is where I got to start to poke holes in it, right? So we're starting with a supposition, an assumption. He says, now it's true Palpatine will return. So I thought I'd come up with a theory that would possibly be true, possibly, but it might not, right? So he says years before the Second War between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire. Is he talking about the Second War that we're seeing now? He says the spirit of Sidious haunted Snoke his whole life. How old is Snoke and how old is Sidious, right? You said the spirit of Sidious. Well, at some point, they were both living at the same time. They were both alive during the same time. So I'm just going to discount this. Now, maybe you say it was his presence through the dark side, right? Sidious's presence through the dark side was haunting Snoke. Well, what if Snoke is older than Sidious? And I'm asking all of this, I'm poking all of this because there was an article that went up on MovieWeb about this that's, you know, was inspired by this Reddit theory, right? It was by Kevin Berwick. The title is The Rise of Skywalker Theory Examines the Real Connection Between Snoke and Palpatine, right? And he points out that there are a number of connections. One of them being that Snoke's ring is made of kyber crystal featuring the 4 sages of Duarte, and Palpatine had the actual sages of Duarte statues in his office, which Snoke later obtains. Now, I haven't fact-checked that part about Snoke obtaining the statues in Palpatine's office, but I can see how that's totally plausible because, you know, the Empire became the First Order, right? And all of Palpatine's things were probably taken. Of course, it was my understanding that Maz Amedda was still there on Coruscant, holed up in Palpatine's office until the New Republic came and got him, right? But we'll go with what Kevin's saying now. But the thing about Snoke's ring, that ring is not made of kyber crystal. The Last Jedi visual dictionary says that that stone, that black crystal, is obsidian that was obtained from beneath Darth Vader's castle on Mustafar. So that's something that ties Snoke back to Vader, back to Palpatine, back to the Sith, right? And then the etchings on his gold ring, it says gold etched with the glyphs of the Duarte. That connects Snoke to the Duarte, to the statues, to the Empire, to Darth Sidious. Now the Duarte, they were known as these lawgivers, right? These lawgivers from the old Republic, right? You got this idea of the wise chancellor, the wise king, the wise ruler, the enlightened ruler. And that falls completely in line with what people sympathetic to the First Order, who were senators, were saying, right? Is that they wanted to elect a first senator, right? We're going to get rid of the chancellor. We're going to consolidate all of the power to an elected official. It's not an emperor. It's an elected official, someone who we elect. They'll have more power than the chancellor, and we won't get caught up with all the debating and the politics and the bureaucracy that we have in the New Republic that killed the Old Republic, right? That we saw during the prequel era. They wanted to elect a first senator, and they said we should have someone just like Palpatine, except better, except enlightened and not greedy, right? Palpatine was greedy because the first Death Star got destroyed. So what did he do? He dumped all his resources into creating a second Death Star. If he hadn't done that, maybe we would have squashed the rebellion. We'd still have an empire and everything would be good, right? So you've got this idea that the empire was good that's being spread around, that the First Order people have, First Order sympathizers have, because many of them were had high places within the empire, and then they lost those high places when the empire fell, or they managed to keep them because money is money. At the end of the day, if you got credits, if you got the money and the power, you got the money and the power. Most importantly, you've got the money. Right. So Kevin goes on to say that this fan theory that I just shared with you states that Emperor Palpatine has been behind Snoke since the start. The spirit of Sidious haunted Snoke his whole life, according to the theory, which goes on to state that Palpatine believed Snoke could do what he was not able to do. Now, they never make clear what Palpatine was trying to do, and if Snoke is trying to do that too. We know what Palpatine wanted to do, or at least I do, and if you're not new to this channel, you know too. If not, you need to go back and check out some old videos, or check out the Tarkin novel, the novel about eventual Grand Moff Tarkin, right? In that, you find out everything you need to know about Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious. Darth Plagueis was looking for the key to immortality. He discovered that there was a ritual that had to be performed on the Sith temple, on the Sith shrine that the Jedi temple stood atop there on Coruscant. They needed access to that. It required a master and an apprentice, one to wield the power, one to basically be the bait for the dark side, right? It wasn't one to wield the power and one to crave it. The rule of two had some other meanings too, meaning, yeah, we had to do a lot of these rituals and one of us might die. And guess who's the one that's got to put guess who's got to be the one to put their butt over the furnace? You, the apprentice, because you can be replaced. Right. So that was the situation. So it's like, well, when Plagueis shared Sidious the details of the ritual and what all needed to be done and where they needed to do it, he was like, well, when this happens, I just want to be immortal. I don't care about getting rid of the Jedi. I don't care about the revenge of the Sith. I don't care about the Scourge of Malachor and seeking our revenge. None of that. I just want to live forever. I just want fame. Right. Fame. I'm gonna live forever, right? That's what Plagueis wanted. And when Sidious found out that about his master, he was like, yo, man, yo, homie, I'm not gonna let that ride. I want to be emperor. I want to rule the galaxy. I want to destroy the Jedi. Once more, the Sith shall rule the galaxy, right? That's what Sidious was after. He was after the power. Forget the money. He's already got that. He wants the power. So what did he do? He wanted to be, just like I said about Kylo Ren, Sidious wanted to be the man, so he got rid of the man, and then he enacted his own plan. He put his vision in place, and his goal was to rule the galaxy, to become immortal, to be able to reshape reality the way he saw fit, right? And we kind of saw a glimpse of that in Star Wars Rebels in the finale, right? Him wanting to get access to the world between worlds. If I get rid of Ezra Bridger, if Ezra shows me how to access this and then I give him the life that he wants, I can get what I want, right? We have literally seen that in the canon. So I hate the Disney canon, right? If you hate the Disney canon, chances are you're not paying close enough attention, right? You're just focusing on the things you don't like. I'm just being real with y'all, right? So we haven't seen any of that from Snoke. We don't know what Snoke wanted. We don't know what his intentions are. All we know is he's a crusty old dude. He had a game plan though. What was his game plan? He wanted to get rid of Skywalker, right? Skywalker, the rise of the new Jedi, posed a threat to any goals that he had. But we don't know what those goals are, and they're really not that important, right? Snoke, as far as becoming supreme leader, it was all by accident. What are Snoke's talents? Snoke is gifted in using the Force to manipulate people, to get what he wants, right? To persuade, right? To deceive, to deceive and to perceive things, right? Snoke used his control of the Force, his mastery of the Force, his skills to cloud Luke's mind, to corrupt Kylo Ren. First off, to make Luke, oh, well, I don't want to rebuild the Jedi Order. I want to explore the origins of the Jedi and eventually the origins of the Force. That's what Luke wanted to do post Return of the Jedi, right? It wasn't start the Jedi Praxium and all this stuff from the EU. Luke wanted to get to the heart of the Force. What is the Force, and what are the Jedi in relation to the Force? But then, oh, well, I decided I would start a new training order. I would start a new Jedi Order. And Ben, with that mighty Skywalker blood running through his veins, maybe he's the chosen one. Maybe it's up to him to restore balance to the Force, right? Snoke did all of that to Luke. And then what did Snoke turn around and do? Now that I've got Ben isolated from mommy and daddy, from Han and Leia, right? And I've got Luke concentrating on not only training Ben and doting on his nephew, but training these other students too. Now I'm going to take it all away, and I'm going to use Ben as my weapon to do that. And then if there's a mighty Skywalker, if this guy, it has the blood of Anakin, of Vader running through his veins, he poses a threat to me. So what do? I put him under my thumb the same way Palpatine did, the same way Sidious did. If the chosen one is supposed to destroy the Sith, then what do? You make the chosen one become a Sith, and you make sure he doesn't destroy you. Now, Palpatine made the same mistake that Snoke did, right? That, hey man, this person might come back and kill you, even though you think you've got him under control. You think it's a trained dog, but hey man, if you're an unkind master, that dog is gonna come back and bite you. They will bite the hand that feeds them, right? And that's the only thing that they share in common. Other than that, I'm sorry to tell y'all this, but Snoke just is not that important. What is he? A placeholder. Snoke manipulated his way into becoming the supreme leader. He got rid of everyone else. Ray Sloan, this political dude, Ormus Apollon. Read the Aftermath book, you'll hear about him. Brendel Hux. He didn't even have to do it. Brendel Hux handed him the First Order stormtroopers and handed him his son Armitage. And it's like, oh, well, Brendel wants his son to be great to make him look good. And that was it. He was like, yo, Armitage, I want you to look good because then you'll make me look good. And anything you do just adds to my legacy. So Snoke was like, well, hey, man, your daddy taught you everything he knows. What do you need him for? Of course, he probably made Armitage think it was all his idea. And Armitage went and had General Hux, if you don't know who that is. General Hux had Captain Phasma bump off his dad, right? A mysterious death. If you read the Phasma novel, you'll know exactly what happened and how he went out, right? So Snoke manipulated his way and then put his people in charge who were basically eating out of his hand, right? Until Kylo Ren decided, yo, man, I want to be the man, and I want Rey at my side as my apprentice, or to rule with me, of course, I'm going to be in charge. We're never going to be equals 50-50. Sorry, Raylo people, but it just ain't going to happen. That's not how the dark side works, right? So, he got rid of Snoke, and that's really it, man. I'm sorry that, this whole, now Snoke probably aided Palpatine in his plan, because I think that part of Palpatine's contingency plan involved Palpatine being resurrected, right? That is something that I completely overlooked, and something I've been telling people, hey man, there were people who followed the dark side who knew about Palpatine, and that was one of the most closely guarded secrets in the Empire. Even top people in the Empire, when Tashu said, hey man, Emperor Palpatine was a dark lord of the Sith named Darth Sidious. They didn't believe him. They laughed in his face. Yeah, right. He's not a Sith. I don't even know what a Sith is. They've been gone for 1,000 years. The Sith are extinct, right? Vader was a dark Jedi, and that was it. That was the end of it. Nobody believed that Palpatine was Sidious, that he was a dark lord of the Sith, right? Nobody believed that, right? So, but like I said, there was the belief that Sidious could return. And the only thing Snoke did, hey man, just a coincidence, he kept that seat warm, and he created the conditions for Palpatine's return, right? It's like evil never goes away. Evil never dies. It just takes on a new face. And it took on enough faces to allow for the ultimate evil to actually return and enact its plan, right? If Palpatine really comes back in the flesh, right, and he's able to become part of the First Order, think about all the technology that they have that Palpatine didn't have, all the weapons, and they rule the galaxy. That's what people are overlooking, right? The Supreme Leader Ren, Kylo Ren, rules the galaxy. When we pick up with The Last Jedi, the First Order ruled the galaxy. They got rid of the Senate. They got rid of Hosnian Prime. There's no capital for the New Republic. And I'm willing to bet money that all of the First Order sympathizers that were part of the New Republic, they weren't there when Starkiller Base fired on the planets. And even if they were, it wouldn't matter, because their worlds were First Order sympathizers too, right? It wasn't just them, it was their planets too. So they can be replaced, but they've got allies everywhere. They've got allies within the underworld, right? The rebellion, they got a lot of odds stacked up against them. And if you're handing all of that to Palpatine, hey man, stop focusing on these theories and start taking a bigger look, because we are in a star war. It is a war in the stars. And right now, where we left off in The Last Jedi, yeah, Luke created a new legend, but things wasn't looking good for the rebellion. And we're gonna have to find out what we're gonna have to get the 411 when that Rise of the Rebellion book comes out in November. So that's really all I got to say about this. I know I talked longer than maybe I should have, but it's a whole lot shorter than what I said on the Off the Dome podcast. So what do you guys think about this particular theory? Do you like it? Do you not? And or have I just completely trashed it to the point where it's like, yo, I don't want to hear anything else about a Palpatine using Snoke as a puppet, or that he possessed him. No, unless they got to do something real good explaining to make that possible. But are you finally on the Snoke is Snoke and Palpatine is Palpatine, and Palpatine possessed something, or he's been wherever, and he's an opportunist, and this is the opportunity for him to emerge as the ultimate bad, just like what happened in the previous 6 movies, right? We get to the end and, it's Palpatine, it's Sidious. He's finally carrying out his plan, just like in Revenge of the Sith and just like in Return of the Jedi, except he got beaten that one. So I don't know. To me, it follows the same formula that we've seen in all the Star Wars movies. But, it's like you got people that say, hey, man, I don't like these new movies. They're not like the old ones. And then when you point out they are like the old ones, hey, man, I don't like these movies. They're just like the old ones. They're not original. So I don't know. You can't please anybody, but it is what it is. So anyway, if you guys haven't subscribed already, go ahead, click the subscribe button and take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story. and become a force for change in your community. Continue to support the channel. You can do that by checking out more videos on this channel. And you can also do that by sharing this video with your friends on social media. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing. May the force of others be with you always.